Hey everybody, Yuli here from ProjectLaptopLifestyle.com, and today I want to share with you how I fly around the world for free, $0, not spending even $1 on flights. Is it possible? Yes, maybe you heard of it, maybe you read about it. I'll tell you, I'm doing it right now and it's completely possible. It's real, it happens, and I'll share with you how I do it. It's really one technique which I use, I leverage to the maximum which I can, and it allows me to get free flights. So in the last year I've been doing it. I've actually heard of it I think 3 years ago. So it's not a one-day process, and I usually fly once a month actually. In order to have a laptop lifestyle, you may need to fly a lot from country to country. So I usually have one flight a month, and it's for free. In the last year I've been in Asia and I had many flights there from countries. It's all free. Right now I'm in Europe. I'm flying for free as well between the countries. I recently not only fly for free, but I've ordered my first class with Virgin London to New York. I'll have this flight. I actually never flew first class, but using the technique I'll share with you, you can also actually not just fly for free, but fly with class. And probably I'll start getting more first class tickets, which are almost for free as well, using the technique. So really the method I'm using is pretty simple, and it's called credit card miles or airline miles. What does it mean? You have different credit cards, which if you pay money, you can actually get airline miles. For example, if I have a credit card or some kind of card and I use $1, I spend $1, with this $1 I get 1 mile back. So it's like an example, I spend $100,000. It means I got 100,000 miles in that card. I know it's a lot of money, but it's pretty simple. It's one way to get miles. I have a few cards, and in our card I actually get 1.5 miles. So I can spend, for example, $10,000, I'll get 15,000 miles. And later you just go to the airline company, you can convert those miles which you earned for flights. And it actually can be converted usually for hotels and other things. So if you have a way to ramp it up, you can get other things for free. Now, you can really get it and use this method to the maximum and ramp up if you have a business. If you have some kind of business, you usually have expenses. The idea here is you put all the expenses which you already have. You already have expenses if you have a business. If you're advertising, your advertising expense can be pretty high. Like advertising expense can easily ramp up to tens of thousands of dollars for small companies. It can easily get there. So the idea is you just put everything on the credit card anyway, and you just start ramping up miles. So again, you already have expenses which you're spending anyway. All you do is just put them on a card which is connected to airline miles, rather than just sending a wire for a bank, or rather than just, I don't know, spending it with no getting miles. And then automatically you start gathering miles and getting the miles back without actually doing anything. All you've done is move some expenses which you already had on it. Now, in my example, I have a business where I pay all my suppliers and inventory through my credit cards, and that's how I ramp up my miles. And my monthly revenue there is around $100,000, and I spend around $70,000, and it's money I should have spent anyway. If not the cards, I would have needed to spend anyway in my business. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting all the expenses on my credit cards. And this way I get miles in return. So I can get, let's say, around 70,000 to 100,000 miles in a month back in my pocket. And these miles I use to fly for free. And I have a laptop lifestyle. I mean, I travel around the world. I live in different places. I fly a lot. If you don't fly a lot, then those miles are really a lot of miles. I can't use my miles. I have too much miles right now. I literally cannot use them from what I have now. Even if you are personal and don't have a business, again, you are having monthly expenses. So the idea is put all of them on a card which generates miles, rather than just spending it out with no good reason. Even if the amounts are not high, it starts adding up. Even if you add a few thousand miles a month, in a year you'll have 36,000 miles. For example, if you spend 3,000 a month. It's an average expense in the United States, Canada. If you do this, just move your expenses on a card with miles, and in a year you'll probably get a free flight. And maybe you don't fly a lot. In this case, you'll just have one free flight to use for a year without really doing anything else. All you've done is change your credit card. Now this works the best from my experience in United States and Canada because the credit card companies really have a good ratio of spending money to the miles you get. Meaning if you spend $1, you get 1 mile back. I have a card where I spend $1, I get 1.5 points back, and this is a great ratio. You even can get better, but that's what I have right now. And now I'm from Israel, and in Israel the cards are not the same. I think the ratio was I need to spend $4 to get 1 mile. So to compare it, in the United States, in my bank there, if I spend $1,000, I can get 1,500 points. In Israel, if I spend $1,000, then I get 250 points. As you can see, you can never get anywhere with this. That's why if you want to use this method, you want to get a bank in the United States and Canada. That's where the best credit card companies and airline miles are there. In Europe, I also didn't hear of anything really good. If you hear something, let me know in the comments. I'll be glad to know, but I personally don't know. I'm not aware of it. So, United States, Canada, get a bank there. And once you get a bank there, you apply for a credit card, and it takes time to build up your credit. When I started, I got only $1,000 credit, meaning I could spend only $1,000 with the card, and then I need to refill it. So maybe in a month I could have spent $2,000, $3,000. Now it's pretty slow if it's a business. If it's personal, I mean, perfectly fine. But it takes time. If you show them you actually have a good credit score, you always pay your bills on time, then shortly you will request a credit. And it's like compounding effect. If you know what is compounding, it's like really, really slow. For a time it's like 1,000 credit, all of a sudden it grows and grows and grows. And actually after 2 years, I got to around $60,000 in credit. So it's a 60 increase from $1,000. And this allows me to easily put all my expenses on those cards. And I add up also personal expenses. So expenses which I would have made anyway. Never do any special expenses only because you have the card. The idea is take the cards, connect them to miles, and put expenses which you already have. If you're personal, if you don't have a business, put it as well. You'll get miles and you could use them later for airplanes. If you're a business and right now you're spending money, which probably you are, why not move it to a card? The miles will just start adding up and you'll have miles to use to get free flights, literally. And it sounds very simple, maybe it is, but that's what I heard a few years ago and that's what I'm using. That's the method I do to fly around the world for free. I spent $0 last year on flights because of this, and I don't plan spending money on flights for the next few years probably. Even right now, all the miles I have, I just need to spend them. I can't even spend them, I don't get to it, even when I fly once a month. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave your comments below. I would love to know what you think about it. Have you used it? Maybe you know some cards, and subscribe to the channel below, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.